Yep. Ding ding, let's go. This concept, BloodGPT. Everyone just loves ChatGPT. How about the GPT? How about the LLM, the large language model of you? So, it's really all about knowing, acknowledging that you have a heart and soul. You can call it soul. There's also intuition involved in addressing, acknowledging your heart and soul. You can call it the gut feeling. You can call it the sense, the inner feeling. Call it whatever you want. But we have it. Not only that, we have gifts to give. We have inner gifts that we are realizing within ourselves what makes us real and true and beneficial to others, to everyone and everything that we interact with. The inner gifts, and we have outer gifts, what we give out, what we actually play out, what we give. And that's through simple things like conversation, body language, words, expressions, but the actual work that we give in our, job work and the work that we do to maintain relationships, friends, family, and all that good stuff. We have this. We have this blood voice crack. We have this blood GPT. We may not feel like we have the end-all be-all absolute true answers for everyone, for everything, for ourselves all the time. But the more kind of soul confidence, the Godfidence, if you will, the more that we really enable that, encourage that, foster that, the better it gets, right? We're training this LLM of ourselves, and then we're just giving it out. So I've recently decided, not only am I dedicating my entire life to this concept or to this content where I'm just giving. I've gotten to the point where I'm like, okay, let's double down, over the months. Let me double down. Okay, now I'm at this higher standard. Let me double down again. All right, now I'm at this higher standard. Let me double down again. And again, and again. This doubling down, quadrupling down, eightfold down-ing, to just keep doing it. And to keep doubling down in terms of giving. So I've dedicated myself recently, and I'm going to do it. Every insight that I've written down since the beginning of 2021 is when I really started to get serious, get intentional about journaling my insights, the intuitive insights, where, let's be honest, let's be real, everything that we're given from the get-go is from creation itself. You can call it God, the universe, the cosmos, great creator, great spirit, as the natives would call it. Wankantanka, I believe that's what they call it. But yeah, all cultures call it a different thing, but just like the all, the everything, the life giver, the life bringer. It's like, what's keeping your molecules intact in consistent agreement that, oh, we should stay together and form this body and form all the physical and the non-physical stuff that form this I, that beyond that form this life. What's keeping this all in agreement, right? Straight up, God, or whatever else you want to call it. So acknowledging that from the get-go is a good place to start. And then beyond that, once you get more and more reflective, more and more acknowledging of this fact, this biological fact, metaphysical fact, this ongoing cosmic fact that we are life itself, we are being lived, we have all of these gifts. All right, thank you, right? As long as it ends up in different ways, shapes, and forms in gratitude. And it's like, whoa, I'm given all of this. Okay, let me see how far I can take this, right? That's been, in so many words, a dedication of my life, where I'm like feeling greatly, deeply thankful about all of this. This is amazing. Okay, thank you for all of this. Okay, now, from this moment on, all right, I want to give this out. I'm being given all these gifts. Let me return the favor and have a bunch of fun doing it. Have a bunch of interesting journeys and adventures doing it. One of the many reasons I love working with children, them being the young humans, the base software of humanity, and just watching them and learning from them and going on these adventures together. It's beautiful. It's amazing. And it's just like, it signifies, it symbolizes, it showcases what this life is. This life is a series of giving and receiving, and adventures and challenges that we carry out and become better as a result. So back to the concept of BloodGPT. I know it feels like an intense term, but something's got to drive the point home, where it's like, yeah, technology is like cool and great, and we can utilize it to beautiful, amazing avails, results, completions, results. It's beautiful, it's amazing, it's awesome. But let's not stray too far from the acknowledgement, the reality that we have our own GPT, we have our own language model, large language model within us. The intuition, the heart and soul, the gut feeling, the sense, that inner sense, that inkling, that I don't know how I know, but I just know. That. We have that. And it is a given gift. And it's high time we start utilizing it more and more, if you haven't been doing it much, if at all, already. It's like the prioritization really gets me. What are you prioritizing currently in life? What are your priorities? What do you enact, enable, appreciate throughout your day, throughout your year? And yeah, I'm sure most of that is legitimately important. Yet, how much are you appreciating this God, this connection to God, this self that wants to be heard? If you don't know about it already, the concept of the inner child in psychology, where it's like you have an inner child sort of synonymous with the heart and soul, where it's like, hey, you have this inner aspect of you that's very real, very true, very present. How often are you listening to this most inner self? How much are you prioritizing it? How much are you appreciating it? Right? And you can imagine it, through a vision, like it's this literal child, a younger you, perhaps, that, wants and likes and enjoys certain things, but you're just so busy doing and catering to these other things that it just feels like it can't talk to you because you're not listening to it. You're not listening to him or her. You're just doing the modern dream thing, right? I was going to say American dream, but you may be living in another country. That's fine. But the concept of the American dream, the Western dream, perhaps, is just, do the job, make the money, make a real comfy existence for you. And that's cool. That, to a large extent, is important. But there are people living in third world conditions that are just living the time of their lives because they're catering to their inner child, their heart and soul, and they're like, you know what, I want to do this today. I want to do this tomorrow. I want to call up a friend. I want to knock on their door and say, hey, let's hang out. Hey, let's make, a nice meal together. Like, I love doing that with family and friends where it's like, hey, let's get together. Let's break bread together. Right? And that literally or symbolically is what life is all about. Let's stoke this heart fire. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it roaring. Yeah. So, at the risk of talking in circles, let's bring it home. Let's, in terms of really, in terms of really stabilizing and solidifying this concept, this reality of BloodGPT, of you extracting, you blossoming nearly effortlessly this insight, this wisdom that's coming forth through you, through your past trials and tribulations, through the blood, sweat, and tears, through doing the actual work, the inner work, the outer work, and getting this gold, these beautiful bounties, this fruition, right? I love the tree analogy of just like you're a tree in an orchard. You're always producing fruit or people being nourished, whereas the fruit just really not actually that ripe, that nutritious, that delicious. Okay, look at that, and just really analyze in a sort of soft and tender and patient way, non-judgmental way, where it's like, okay, how can I make my fruit, how can I make my givings more nutritious and delicious and have more and more people just like waiting in line to get a piece of me, right? That's really what it's all about. You're giving already, but it's just a matter of becoming more and more nourishing to yourself and to others. From the heart and soul and core level, listening to yourself, listening to your BloodGPT, your intuition, your insight, your wherewithal. Like, you have this. So yeah, all of this and more. As I like to end the videos, much respect to you, much respect to us, to making it work, to dedicating ourselves to become more and more delicious, nutritious, awesome from the core and beyond. Much respect to life, giving us all of these gifts, all the layers that constitute the self, the physical and the non-physical stuff. Life itself, bringing forth all of these elements that we can enjoy. The food, air, the water, the earth, all of the non-physical stuff that's keeping it all together. Much respect. Much respect to us in working with all of these layers, with ourselves and with life, and to just make it happen, to be facing inevitable challenge and to become better as a result. Straight up. This is Mr. Mike. Catch you later.